Sponsored by Industrial Metal Supply on the Sports Leader. Check the live stream on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
Swing, there's a high drive into left field. Way back there. Adios! Pelota! And that's three. Wilmer Flores with his third home run and his 8th run batted in of the night.
Welcome into a Friday edition of Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky, and what an exciting game that just ended at Oracle Park, and what a night to have fireworks. Boy, nice timing right there by the San Francisco Giants as they win the first game of a 3-game series against the Athletics 9-1, and it was Wilmer Flores and Logan Webb game because both of these guys threw a gem. And boy, Wilmer Flores, 3 home runs, the first time a right-hand hitter for the San Francisco Giants hit 3 home runs. And I was just talking to my producer, Kyle, and I was running back the home runs. They all look the same. They really did. Where the pitch was, where he hit it. You look at the distance, 379, 375, 381, all in the front row. But I tell you, it was a fun night at Oracle Park. A nice 40,000 fans saw that. An exciting game for the San Francisco Giants after scoring 17 runs in their last 2 games with a day off yesterday. And they only won 1 out of the 2 coming back against the Diamondbacks. And this homestand, losing 2 to the Diamondbacks. And now this game right here really got them flowing here for the Athletics for the next 2 games. And then they play the Kansas City Royals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the offense is starting to gel, and this is what we were hoping for to see tonight as well as continuing through this homestand. When you look back when Minnesota, when they got swept by 3 games, they didn't score many runs, and they come home and Verlander loses 2-1, you were just wondering, what's going on? Is the offense going to wake up? And they did. They really did. Tuesday and Wednesday, like I said, 17 runs in 2 games. And now today, it was just Logan Webb day. We always like to look at when Logan Webb pitches at home, and he has been pitching magnificently at home. 4 home starts. He's 3-0 with an under a 1 earned run average. He just loves pitching here, and today he was on point. When you look at what he did, 4 innings of the 7, 1, 2, 3 innings. He had a walk, and he had 1, 2, 3 inning, gave up a double, a 1, 2, 3 inning. He only had 2 innings where he got in trouble in the 5th and the 8th inning and got out of it. Really strange play in the 8th inning. The ball got caught off Flores, and Tyler Fitzgerald tried to throw it to Bailey at home, and Bailey tried to sweep tag him. That was the only run he gave up, and I'm sure if that would have been a clean 8th inning, he probably would have gone out there for the 9th to get that shutout. His pitch count was fine, 85 pitches after 7, and he ended up going 107, which was pretty good. Pretty pleased. He has to be pretty pleased at what he did today. When you look at what Logan Webb did, 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Got ahead of hitters, 21 first pitch strikes out of 30 hitters, 107 pitches, 70 for strikes. And, you start looking at what his arsenal was today, and he's really been mixing a lot of good pitches in. Of course, his sinker, he threw 50 pitches out of 107. And a lot of those were between 94 and 92, and this is what you look at with Logan Webb. The defense shined behind him. 17 ground ball outs. 17. That's right. And when Logan Webb's got the sinker, the changeup, and the sweeper going, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. And up the middle, Willie Adames and Tyler Fitzgerald coming off the IL really played some great defense. A couple of balls up the middle. Adames speared one. Tyler Fitzgerald backhanded one. That's the kind of defense the Urnfield wants to play when Logan Webb's on the mound. Only 1 fly ball out. How about that? 17 ground ball outs, and that's what I'm talking about with Logan Webb. 50 sinkers, 24 changeups, 20 sweepers, and he's starting to use that fastball, that cross-seam fastball. Had a couple strikeouts with elevated fastballs. He punched out Langolier in the sixth inning with a nice fastball, about 93 cross-seamer up under the hands. He's starting to do that a little bit more. Missed on a couple other ones that just got up a little higher, but I like that pitch. And we've always talked about hitters changing the eyesight of the hitter with a fastball up and then something down. And this is what now Logan Webb is doing, because everything is usually down in the zone. When you look at sinkers and sliders and changeups, everything's down. Now he's using that cross seam and the cutter. He's starting to throw a little bit more. But a great game from Logan Webb. He gets his fifth win. He's now 5-3. Earned run average down to a 2.4 earned run average. And what can you say about Camilo Duvall? He is just blazing. He threw the ball 100 miles an hour again tonight. A couple of sliders. Threw 12 pitches, 10 for strikes, and punched out to side. Really look sharp again today, and this is something else. His bullpen is just dynamite. Number one in Major League Baseball with an earned run average just around 2.4, 2.5, and what they're doing is just coming out there and throwing strikes. Always talking about J.P. Martinez all the way back to spring training, talking about getting strike one, and that's exactly what this team is doing on a pitching staff. Tomorrow, Landon Roop on the hill. We'll see if he can shine. But you know what, tonight, 808 KNBR, if you want to get on the phone lines, love to hear what you saw at the game today. If you're leaving at the fireworks show, is this getting over? Talk about this team. Talk about what you saw in Wilmer Flores today. A lot of history in Wilmer Flores getting 8 RBIs, going 3 for 5 tonight. A grand slam in the third inning, a 10-pitch at bat, and I thought that was very impressive. Took a 3-2 fastball off of J.P. Sears out to left field for his 8th home run. That opened up the game right there for the Orange and Black with 4 runs. And they added again in the 6th inning with Wilmer Flores coming back up after a walk to Bailey and a base hit by Ramos. He hit a 2-1 fastball, 96 miles an hour, and he hit it out to left field for his 9th home run. And in the 8th inning, it was great. A 1-1 fastball, looked like the same pitch. He hit it for his 10th home run. Now with 41 RBIs on the season, he is now tied with Aaron Judge for most RBIs in Major League Baseball. Just a fun night for Wilmer Flores. 3 for 5, 3 runs, 8 RBIs. 8 RBIs in one game. And a lot of the other guys hit the ball well. Jung-Hoo Lee was 2 for 5. Matt Chapman crushed a couple balls. He ended up going 2 for 5. Willie Adames got a nice base hit after Chapman got a double in the 8th. He ended up getting an RBI. He was 2 for 5. Yastrzemski 1 for 4. Patrick Bailey 1 for 3. Fitzgerald back in the lineup 1 for 3 with a walk. Really hustled in for the double he hit in the 4th inning. So everything's starting to change a little bit. Good aggressive hitting, good aggressive base running, and home run balls were flying out of Oracle tonight. 415-808 KNBR. Let's get on the phone lines. Let's talk about this team. Let's talk about this night Wilmer Flores had, as well as Logan Webb. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back with the phone calls and talk about what's next with Landon Roop on the hill against Luis Severino. That's a game tomorrow starting at 6:05. We'll take a first break, come back, and get these phone calls. They're on the board. We'll talk more baseball right here on The Sports Leader.
your reaction. So give us a ring or blow up the text line at 415-808-KNBR. This is Sports Phone KNBR. Streaming live at twitch.tv/The Sports Leader.
Here's the pitch. Swing, and there's a drive in the deep left center field. Way back there, still going. Adios! Pelota! A grand slam for Wilmer Flores. What a battle. And Wilmer wins the battle in a big way. The bases were loaded, and he knocked them all in. Seventh time that Wilmer Flores has batted with the bases loaded this year. And he has knocked in 13 runs in those 7 plate appearances. 4-0 Giants, and he electrified Oracle Park.
All right, back on Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky on a Friday night. Giants win 9-1, an impressive game by Logan Webb, and of course, John Miller talking about Wilmer Flores, who went 3 for 5, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, a grand slam, a 3-run homer, and then he finished it with a solo in the 8th inning. Just a fun night at Oracle Park on Orange Friday. The Giants are now 12-7 against Interleague, or say American League, either way you want to take it. One of the things that was impressive, because they've had hard times going against left-hand starters. They were 2-10 against left-handers. J.P. Sears was really throwing the ball well coming in here. He was 4-2 with a 2.8. He only walked 7 guys in 8 starts, and today he ended up walking 3 and really got in trouble by walking 2 hitters before the grand slam was hit. So an unusual night for J.P. Sears. The Giants jumped on him pretty good. He only went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs through 93 pitches. At one time, he had thrown 42 pitches in that 3rd inning when Wilmer hit that grand slam. So that kind of put him on waivers right there. And so they had to go to the bullpen and ended up using 4 bullpen arms. And tomorrow now, Landon Roop's on the hill for the Giants against Luis Severino, and Severino's 1-4 with a high earned run average. They could get this nice 3-game sweep here against the Athletics. The Athletics have been struggling. They've had some tough games. They played the Mariners up in Sacramento, lost 2 out of 3 to them. Played the Yankees in just a slugfest. They lost 2-3 out of them, and then they go down to Los Angeles. And last night they lost 19-2. So they were coming in here pretty battered. They lost 2 games to the Dodgers also after they won 11-1. So this is a good time to take the Athletics. They're 14-10 on the road, 8-13 at home. And let's see if the Giants can do the same thing tomorrow against Luis Severino with a left-handed lineup in. All right, let's get to the phone lines. I have a few people on hold. Let's go to Bob in Saratoga. Bob, you're on Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky. A great night out at Oracle tonight.
Thank you, Bill. It's really a great game, and you did a great summary of Webb at the beginning.
Hold on, Bob. I can barely hear you. I don't know if if your phone is off or do you have something on behind it. Try it again, Bob.
Now?
That sounds
Can
better.
you hear me now?
No.
Okay, great. I said great game, and you did a great summary on Webb at the beginning, and we needed him back, and we finally got him some runs, so that's all encouraging.
I agree with you right
me?
there, Bob. I mean, when you look at what he's done, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against Minnesota. He loses 2-1, beats Colorado, only giving up 1 earned run. His last 3 outings, plus this one, is the Logan Webb we like. A lot of ground balls, soft contact. I love what he's trying to do with that cross-seam fastball, elevating it to get a couple strikeouts. And Bob, you follow baseball a long time. You know with hitters, you got to change the eyesight and then change going in and out. And if you can do that, he did it remarkable today. This is the consistency we see out of him.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention, I call in a lot, and it's usually you and Kurt, one of the other fellows. Last winter, I was very frustrated because so many fans called in and said, we got to get rid of Yastrzemski. We got to get rid of Flores. We got to get rid of Wade. And Wade's, I'm hoping, going to catch fire and come back. But those guys were hurt last year.
Correct.
And the year before, they were our best hitters. And Buster Posey knew all that. So the leadership of Buster Posey is why we're so much better this year. I got to just keep giving him credit because he knew those guys were good hitters. And if they were healthy, they were going to really help us. And their salaries were kind of fairly low, and he would have had to spend a ton of money to go get other hitters. So
that's a great point, Bob. It really is a good point, and he did stick with all three of them. Wilmer Flores, a low salary, but he was injured with his legs last year. He's been coming through. Look at him. I mean, he's a total all-star right now on this team with 41 RBIs. He's a clutch hitter. That's his 7th grand slam he hit in his career. It's just good for Wilmer Flores to get the props because he is a good damn hitter. He's now playing first base. I think Lamont Wade Jr. is going to come out of this. It's frustrating when you see a guy like that and you hear about, Pat Burrell and Damon Meyer, and he's in there every day trying to work and work harder. You saw a couple clips when they were with Arizona. Barry Bonds was helping him. The guy's working his tail off. Sooner or later, it's going to come back. But let's go to Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski doing really well, hitting .280, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, playing a great right field on defense. And I think that's the plus that Yastrzemski brings is the defense.
Yes. And he comes through and hit home runs. He's a clutch hitter. When we need a good hit, he's there, and he's a pro, and his grandfather was, so great. I mean, he's got the genes. So it's going to be a good year if we can just continue this. But I really appreciate you and your program because of all the programs, you got the best.
Well, I appreciate that, Bob. It's always great talking to you, and a good game tonight. And you summed it up right with Yastrzemski, Wade, and of course, Flores. And I think those three right there are key players. And you just got to keep hoping that Patrick Bailey comes out of the slump too. And the Giants need all of these guys in their lineup. But, Bob, good call tonight. Appreciate your time. Let's go to Craig in Oregon. Craig, you're on the Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky on a Friday night. How are you?
Well, good evening, Mr. Lasky. It's very nice to speak to you again.
Yeah, Craig, a good game tonight. I mean, it really was good pitching, good defense especially, and then, of course, clutch hitting and the home run ball by Wilmer Flores. And I'm sure you watched the game. I kind of summed up those home runs. They all looked alike to me.
Well, hey, I will tell you this. You spoke of defense, and if anybody recalls me ever calling in, I always talk about the leather. Mm-hmm. And you got to start by flashing the leather. And these guys came in tonight from the first inning when Wilmer Flores picked that ball from Adames. Mm-hmm. It was excellent.
He picked a few of them today, too, Craig. He played good first base. He really did.
He can pick it. That's the thing. And they give him no respect for playing in the field because he's slow on the bases. He's slow. I mean, I could probably outrun. Well, I can't outrun.
I don't know, Craig. Don't go that far now. Don't go that far now, Craig.
No. But I'm just saying, the point is that the guy can pick it, and that's an incredible skill. And it serves your pitcher. And I'm going there now, Bill. I'm going there.
I'm right there with you. And you know what during the game here, Craig, you saw some of the action with Adames and Fitzgerald going up the middle. They shaded up the middle a little bit, and then the next thing you know, a nice backhand or a forehand. Adames made a couple of them off his knees, grabbing them. Flores kind of slid into center field with a rocket arm. We missed Fitzgerald at second base when he was injured. Christopher Sauce played very good. He's a very good defensive guy. I think he got a little more electricity out of Fitzgerald.
I think so, too. But I'll go back to our pitcher. And, Logan Webb, every time the guy goes out there, I mean, I just think Spider-Man, he's a web slinger. He is ripping it, and he's gripping it and ripping it. And these guys don't know what's coming, and he often has a positive result, and the guys are behind him getting the outs. He had an incredible night, and I want to give him some serious.
I agree. And, you know, Craig, once he got through the fourth inning, fifth and sixth inning, 7 pitches, 9 pitches, he was efficient, throwing strikes. And I always talk about first pitch strikes, 21 first pitch strikes, 30 hitters. That is the big point for Logan Webb. And you talked about the first inning. That's one of the hardest innings he has. But, boy, when he pitches at Oracle Park this year, 4 starts, 3-0, going 6 innings plus in each one of them, 1 earned run or less. That's very, very efficient. Plus, that's very, very good pitching.
Amazing, the amazing Spider-Man. That's how I want to put it out there. But hey, so one last thing, I will let you go upon your duties, sir. 8, the number 8. If you were looking at a box score and you saw 8 runs scored by your team, you'd be like, those guys, man, they really did it tonight. These are my guys. They did it. No, one guy.
That was
one
it.
guy put up 8
How about
runs.
that? That's great. It's history being made, and NBC
It's blowing
Bay
my
Area.
mind.
It
I
really
can't even
is.
believe it.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
NBC Bay Area talked to him as the star of the game, and he was this normal Wilmer Flores. Yeah, I know, I broke some records. But he says I saw the ball very clear today, and he hits the ball better at Oracle Park, and very humbled Wilmer Flores, and that's how he's been up and down. That's what I love about the guy.
Me too. The humbleness of a professional athlete that makes a huge living off of our entertainment is always something.
Star of the game right there, Craig. Star of the game.
Yeah,
And
makes
thank
us
you
feel
for
good. It
thanks
makes
for
us
the
feel
call
good.
tonight. I appreciate your time calling in from Oregon, and let's have some more 8 RBI games for you. All right, let's go to Cal. He was at the game. Cal, you're on Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky on a Friday night. Tell me how excited Oracle Park was tonight.
Bill Lasky, I'm so happy to be talking to you. I showed up early for the game and sat in the 415 club, so I was out in center field watching
Excellent.
Webb warm up. And you could
Beautiful.
just see the intensity in his eyes from square one. I mean, it was really impressive to watch him warm up today.
I just love
it
how
looked
they
like
do that. I love how you guys at the 415, you get to watch the starting pitcher, the bullpen. I'm sure you saw Duvall throwing bullets down there because he was on fire too.
It's so much fun to watch. It adds a whole nother element of entertainment to the game when you go out there to the park and watch. And I suggest that anyone who hasn't sat out there, do yourself a favor and get some friends, go watch a game in the 415 club. It is incredibly fun and worth the expense. But beyond that, I'm just so happy to see a team of guys who have gotten a little bit beat up in the past, 10 days, just come out and play the way they did and show that that's the true form of Giants baseball that we can expect to see for the rest of the year with our ace on the mound. I just think this game, we just beat a team that kind of owned the Dodgers. I don't know exactly how the whole series looked, but I did look at the scores over the weekend.
Yeah, they won
the
first game, Cal. They won the first one 11-1. Then they lost 9-3, but it was a close game till the bottom of the 8th. And then last night, L.A. blew them out 19-2, an embarrassing game. But they've been playing a lot of tough teams. They play the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Mariners in 3-game sets, and every one of those teams was in first place. So a young team that got battered here because they lost all 3 of those series. I was wondering how they were going to come in because they were very heavy on their offense, and Logan Webb with his masterful, change-up here, sinker here, a cross-seam fastball here. I thought he mixed his pitches up very well tonight.
He so did. And, I can get a sense at the ballpark that everyone has faith in this team to go far this year, or at least to give it their very best. And that's all we can ask for as Giants fans, being in
You're
such a
absolutely
competitive
right, Cal.
division. I think
let me ask you one question, Cal. Let me ask you a question, Cal. They also had the 415, and they also dropped a 510 on there to kind of welcome the Athletic fans in there today. Did you see that?
I did see that, and I respect that. I think they feel at home at Oracle Park. at this point, I talked to a few. We were sitting next to some really great athletics fans, and that's their home ballpark now. They're not going to, there's many of them that will never travel to Vegas for a game. Vegas just isn't the place for everyone, and especially the Bay Area fans. It's just a lot to be able to afford to go out there and see a game. So they're going to take full advantage anytime that this team shows up to Oracle, and I totally respect that.
I thought it was very classy of the Giants in welcoming them into Oracle Park, and they're part of the Bay Area, and a lot of Giants fans, just like I do, we cheer for the Athletics, and we watch American League Baseball. It's a young organization that's really thriving on a lot of young players, and they're going to be good the next few years. They have a lot of talented players. Today, the Giants got to them. Let's hope the next 2 games they can win a series after they lost 2 out of 3 from Arizona.
100%. And you know what? Hopefully Landon Root, speaking of young players, hopefully he gets to go out there and follow this game up with another W tomorrow. I think that would go a long way.
I agree with you, Cal. Thanks for the call tonight. I'm glad you enjoyed the game out there, and what a fun game with watching 3 home runs by Flores. The Grand Slam had that place rocketed when he hit that one.
Love it. Thank you, Bill. You're the man.
All right. Appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And, it's just fun. I love talking to fans when they're at the ballpark because I'm watching it at home like most fans do, and you see the excitement. You see how Giant fans just react. And, boy, it's just, when Christopher Sauce hit his Grand Slam, it's an electric moment. It doesn't happen very often. But to see Wilmer Flores hit 3 home runs tonight and you're sitting there, that was exciting. And it was history, no question. So many things in the record books that he broke or tied. And just a fun night. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Got some more calls on hold, 808 KNBR. Alex Simon's going to join me from SF Gate. We're going to take what his analysis of the game was, and I know he was either at the game or watching it, so we'll catch up with him in a little bit. I'm Bill Lasky. This is the Sports Phone KNBR show, so we'll be right back on The Leader.
Sports Phone KNBR. Dial the digits or send us a text at 415-808-KNBR. We're streaming on YouTube all damn day at KNBR 1045.
The right-hander throws, and Wilmer, it's a high drive to left. Back is Soderstrom. He leaps, and it is out of here. Wilmer Flores has done it again. He will take the Grand Tour for the second time. He's got a grand slam in this game, and he's got a 3-run home run in this game.
All right, back on Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky, and I'll finish it up in the 8th inning. Here's a 1-1 fastball to Wilmer Flores, and he hit his third one out, number 10 on the night. Number 10 on the year. How about that? 8 RBIs for Wilmer Flores as he goes 3 for 5 tonight, and what a special game in his career. And he's just done so much for the San Francisco Giants on the batting side. RBIs, 41, tied with Aaron Judge in Major League Baseball. And like I said, he's a gentle giant. He takes the good with the bad. He's such a good leader in that clubhouse, and just so happy that he's healthy this year. Tomorrow, 6:05, first pitch. Landon Roop's going to go on the hill against Luis Severino. Landon Roop 2-3 with a 4.9 earned run average. He threw against the Minnesota Twins 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. Against the Cubs, 5 innings, 2 earned runs his last 2 starts. Severino on the other side has been struggling. Threw against the Yankees, only got 4 innings in, gave up 8 earned runs with a couple home runs in that game. And Seattle, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. When you're looking at Severino, he's going to try to throw a lot of fastballs by guys. He's, of course, came from the New York Yankees, who's a free agent. 53 2/3 innings. He's pitched 28 earned runs. He's given up 4 home runs. He's 1-4 on the year. The 31-year-old right-hander came over in a free agent market deal, and and when you look at what he's done this year, it's not good. It is not good, and I think the Giants could really put a damper in him when you start looking at what he's done in the last couple of games. Get him early in the count and see what they can do with some early runs. When you look at what these two teams dove into the series, and you were wondering, man, there's good hitting by the Sacramento Athletics. They were 6th in Major League Baseball with a 261 batting average coming in, and they had 57 home runs they hit. The Giants were 21st with a 237 batting average. They only had 45 home runs, so with 3 more, they're at 48. But then you look on the pitching side, that's where the Giants have taken over the Athletics. They have a 3.5 earned run average. They're 8th in Major League Baseball. And the Athletics at number 25, that's going to even get worse. They were at a 4.85 coming in. But this is the number that I think Giants fans love, and this is something that I just love to talk about, is the bullpen numbers. A 2.6 earned run average, number 1 in Major League Baseball for the orange and black. 12 saves, 13 home runs, 49 walks, 145 strikeouts, and they've only given up 109 hits. 109 hits from the bullpen. And again tonight, Camilo Duvall coming in and flashing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball with a high 90 slider and punched out the side in 12 pitches, 10 for strikes. So the bullpen is definitely the big plus. Good defense tonight, as I talked earlier about it when you looked at what Chapman did. How about Chapman's play at second base where he flipped the ball from his glove to second base? Not really a routine ball. If anything, if that clipped out of his glove not the right way, it would have been bases loaded, but he got out of it, threw it to Fitzgerald at second. Just a key play for the Gold Glover. And then you had nice infield play by Fitzgerald and Willie Adames up the middle. Wilmer Flores played a great first base. And sure enough, Logan Webb had 17 ground ball outs. Very, very impressive. Alex Simon coming up in a little bit. Of course, he's the editor of the sports of SF Gate. We'll talk to him, but got a call here. Let's go to Andrea in Berkeley. Andrea, how are you on a Friday night?
Yeah, that's great. Great to hear you on a Friday night. And wow, you hit the nail on the head with Wilmer Flores and the great leadership ability, and he's such a dramatic Leo. I just can't get over it. He's
some of the things he does, and a lot of people don't know what he does. I mean, he's got a great bond with the Latin players. He really bonds with them. You see him talking all the time to Matos, and of course Adamas just loves him. Adamas is the cheerleader of anybody. I mean, he's just a great guy, great new teammate, and I think this whole team is bonding and trying to get this offense rolling. I think a lot of them have been struggling, and you start building off of 1 hit, 2 hits. That's 17 runs the last 2 games, Andrea, and today add another 9. It's starting to wake up a little bit, and I love to see that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just perfect timing. And, Leo, he runs that really fun, loving, creative, dramatic, playful energy. I remember when he was with the Mets. I'm so glad he's with the Giants and has that really fun, self-confident, just really self-assured energy, and it rubs off on the other players. He's like the king of the zodiac, and everyone else kind of follows his lead. And I mean, 3 home runs.
Andrea, I threw it out there.
Yeah.
Didn't it look like every home run looked like it hit in the same spot in left field? Wasn't it kind of strange? I mean, I played it back a couple times, and it just looked like the same ball, the same bullet out to left field, right in the front row. I mean, it's just funny to me because I saw it, I played it back, and I'm like, my goodness, it looks like the same swing on every home run ball.
Right, if it works, why change it? He just honed in on, 3 home runs, grand slam, 8 RBIs, just like.
That's what's classic right there. 8 RBIs.
Yes.
8, and he's tied now with Aaron Judge.
Right.
That's a nice note right now when you're getting in the middle of May. And here you got Wilmer Flores as one of your leading hitters and RBI guy. What would they do if they didn't have 41 RBIs from Flores?
Right, exactly, yeah. So he's just really great in his own right. His energy is enthusiastic. It rubs off on the other teammates. He just has a fun, make it look easy kind of vibe, and it really helps with the team and the win. And it's just again, that flair for the dramatic. He makes history. Just
a lot of history today. I mean, they were flashing stuff from 1901 and Barry Bonds days, and the first right-hand hitter ever to hit 3 home runs at Oracle Park in 25 years. I mean, those are all classic things, and I'm sure you saw it at NBC Bay Area. He was like, yeah, okay, everything's fine. Yeah, I had a good day today.
Yeah, I know. I like that. He kind of downplays it. He's kind of humble.
That's it. That's Wilmer. That's the good guy in him, and that's the leader in him. But, Andrea, thanks for the call tonight. I'll be on all weekend. Give me a shout over the weekend, and we'll continue the extra inning post-game shows on Saturday and Sunday. But have a rest of a good night, Andrea. Thanks for the call.
Good care.
All right, the Giants win today 9-1, 9 runs, 13 hits, no errors, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Athletics. The Giants are now 26-19, and the Athletics fall to 22-23. We're going to take a quick break. Bring up my buddy Alex Simon coming up next. Of course, you can read his work at SF Gate. Does a great job, writes a lot of great articles, and he's going to join me next right here on The Sports Leader.
Sound off on the sports leader. Sports phone KNBR keeps rolling right here and on the all-new KNBR app.
Webb pitches. Ground ball back to Webb. He throws to second for one. The relay back to first. A double play. Probably the final pitch of the night for Logan Webb. 8 strong for Webb, just the 1 run. And we go to the last of the 8th with the Giants leading 7-1.
All right, back on Sports Phone KNBR on a Friday night with Bill Lasky. Giants win at Oracle tonight. First game of a 3-game series against the Athletics. 6:05 tomorrow. First pitch. Landon Roop will be on the hill for the San Francisco Giants. Luis Severino for the Athletics. And then it finishes out on Sunday afternoon, 1:05. We're going to see. We will wait and see if Justin Verlander can get that first win in a Giants uniform. And let's just hope that they score 9 runs for him and have a nice, easy win for him. He is on the hill at 1:05. Justin Verlander 0-3 with a 4.3 earned run average, going against another lefty, Jeffrey Springs, 5-3 with a 4.2. And then the Giants play the Kansas City Royals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then off on a 9-day road trip. All right, let's bring in my buddy Alex Simon. Of course, you can read his work at SF Gate. And the first thing I got to say is happy belated birthday, Mr. Simon.
Thank you, Bill. I did get to spend my birthday enjoying the Giants win on Tuesday. Fortunately, was not there tonight to watch the Wilmer Flores show go happen, but it certainly is the type of night that'll make you excited to go back to the ballpark another time.
Well, your birthday, there was a picture on the web with you and Lucille, and I was like, wow, look at this. You made highlights and everything, and now your birthday was so dramatic, and you're having pictures with Lucille, and on Tuesday night when they were wearing the City Connects, I was like, man, you're getting famous.
Well, that also goes, the parents did not share the photo that I'm sure you saw where I was having Lucille at a birthday party at a very young age. So they're hoping to create the then and now photo out of
No, your parents
so,
wouldn't do that. I can't believe Mike and Angie would do that to you, Alex.
I certainly am expecting them to do that very soon. Don't you wait.
Of course. Hey, before we get into this Giants game a little bit, what do you think about the rival weekend? I think it's pretty cool that they did this. I can't remember if they did this in past years. Do you?
I certainly think MLB has made this into more of a formalized idea. It is intriguing that the Giants are playing the A's on this weekend of all things, given the fact that, the Giants, you can't unsay what the truth is they actively helped push the A's out of the Bay Area. And I think there's definitely some A's fans who felt what the Giants did tonight was a little questionable in the idea of trying to act like they're supporting the East Bay fans. But at the same time, this is an entire market of fans who don't have a team anymore. And so the Giants are trying to reach out in that regard. Now, within that, this is still a rivalry I think that a lot of people have if the fans of the A's are still sticking by the team. And so it certainly was a lively atmosphere over at the ballpark tonight.
Yeah, I just loved how they do it. The Mets, Yankees, White Sox, Cubs, Tigers, Blue Jays. Yeah, I can see that. Nationals, Orioles, same kind of area. Rays, Marlins in Florida, Pirates, Phillies, Guardians, Reds. I thought it was pretty cool. Once I started looking at it in the middle of the week and I started reading about it, and everybody's wearing a different hat, the rivalry hat both teams wore today, and all the teams are wearing it. It's a similar hat. I just thought it was, back in high school, having that rivalry against that high school team, and of course these states when you're seeing Cleveland and Cincinnati going against each other. And that's how it was. When I grew up in Ohio, those were the two teams in Ohio you cheered for or you didn't cheer for.
Well, and I think especially when you think, we've only still had interleague play in Major League Baseball for not even 30 full years yet. But the idea of the interleague that was so powerful at the beginning was that you would have these matchups of the crosstown rivals who otherwise never played each other, but maybe in an exhibition game in that regard. Now, obviously, we have the entire interleague setup. Everybody plays everybody, but there's still something a little bit more about whoever that local rival is. Or, if you're the San Diego Padres, you just go all the way up and down the coast with Seattle. But,
that's
some
pretty
teams aren't
much
as lucky to have.
That's pretty much how you do it. And you got the L.A. Angels against the Dodgers, and I think it's cool. I just think it's a great competitive way to put cities together, and of course in the Midwest, St. Louis and Kansas City is another popular one there. So let's dive into this game today. Logan Webb going against J.P. Sears. J.P. Sears was having a great season coming in today, lost control of everything in the third inning, ended up throwing 42 pitches, Alex. This athletic team's been beaten up pretty good, playing Seattle, New York, and L.A. It's a young team. They're hitting the ball well. Their pitching is struggles.
Yeah, I actually think they did fairly well against those American League teams in that regard. They gave the Yankees a really good fight over that weekend that they had him in Sacramento, even though Aaron Judge made it a little bit of a playground for him. But you know what? All I've taken away, Bill, so far from the A's this week is the NL West is legitimately this good. They go to L.A., yes, they get the one win, but they got absolutely smoked, as you said, in last night's game. They come here, the Giants really handle their business. Really, Wilmer Flores handles business, but him and Logan Webb, as much as you have this be a team sport, guys had to get on base for Wilmer to hit those homers. You could almost say two guys beat the A's tonight, because that's basically what it felt like.
It was, and good defense. I thought the defense played sparkling for him tonight. Fitzgerald back from the IL. Christian Sauce has played very well in the time that he's been playing defense, all leather out of him. And I just love to see Adames and Fitzgerald. They're so quick to the ball, that first step. And I just talked about Matt Chapman's play where he took the ball out of his glove and flipped it to Fitzgerald. That's kind of a ballsy move right there, I thought.
Yeah, but Matt Chapman was a longtime Oakland A, and I actually covered him when he was on the A's as a rookie. He was somebody who was really bought in and invested in being in Oakland and being Oakland's guy. You have to know that these games, especially playing these games for the Giants now, the team that has signed him to the long-term deal and given him the thing that he so desperately wanted from Oakland, which was to get the long-term deal that John Fisher just refuses to give guys. You have to imagine it means a little bit more for Chapman to make these kind of plays against the A's and to have these big nights, even if it's not him directly, but the team as a whole having a big night against that team.
Yeah, when we go to the offense, and Wilmer Flores, of course, shined today with 8 RBIs. I thought Matt Chapman had every good at-bat today. He had a couple balls right on the nose, a line drive to left field. Even the pop-up, he was down 3-1, but he didn't want to walk. He wanted to hit. And then he ends up getting a nice double in the 8th inning. He goes 2 for 5 with a nice night tonight.
He does. He's not going to have the night everybody talks about, but he definitely had a nice night. Obviously, when a guy hits 3 homers and knocks in all of the runs for the game, you're going to look at that guy and say he's the story of the night, though. And I think Wilmer Flores, Bill, I obviously understand he's not going to win the fan vote in the National League for the designated hitter spot because there's this guy in Los Angeles named Shohei who's going to win the fan vote. But Wilmer Flores is he's deserving of being an all-star starter. I don't know if the Giants, I'll be intrigued when the all-star vote comes out and they put guys at certain positions. Will the Giants try to sneak Wilmer in as their first baseman to try to see if he can be the starter at first base? Because I
don't know about that. He'd probably be a good pinch hitter off the bench. He'd probably be an extra player. His numbers on the offensive numbers will do it.
He is worthy right now. I mean, he's tied with Aaron Judge for the lead in all of baseball in RBIs. He is 1,000,000% worthy of being on the All-Star team as of this moment. There's still another month and a half to go until we'll know the teams. But Wilmer Flores, for all of the ways in which people were frustrated, and frankly, I think the Giants would have let him walk if Wilmer didn't have a player option and choose to pick it up to stay with the Giants this season.
It's a great call.
I think the Giants would have let him go, and instead they are so blessed to have the found money that Wilmer has been for them this year.
Well, let's talk about another hot hitter, Elliot Ramos. He is just scalding the ball right now. His numbers are just coming off and almost hitting 500. I mean, he was hitting 420 coming into today's game in the last 10 to 20 at-bats. And today, once again, he goes 1 for 3, gets a couple nice walks. He's watching the ball so well. He's not fishing like he used to. And I think that's one big thing that he's graduated from. Last year, we saw him swing out of the zone so much, and at the high pitch and then the breaking ball out of the zone down. I think this year he's really gotten better at it.
I do. Yeah, I completely agree with you. He did struggle with the bat in April, but the one thing that was there was the plate discipline. And he has clearly learned how the strike zone is going to be around his at-bats. He's done a great job of kind of controlling the zone. obviously sometimes the bat's going to be hot, sometimes the bat's going to be cold. That happens to every hitter throughout a season. But Elliott has been unbelievable really in this last couple of weeks and won a couple of games for the Giants in a way, while also, by the way, playing some drastically better defense out in left field.
Yeah,
the defense is night and day for him from even the start of this season, let alone what he was doing last year. He looks so much more comfortable out there. He's obviously made some highlight-worthy plays and some plays where it looks like he's levitating off the ground with some nice photos. He's also maybe going to be in the All-Star discussion if he can really keep a hot streak going for a couple of weeks. He'll be right back in the thick of that conversation.
Yeah,
again.
Alex, going in tonight's game, 11 for 23, 478, and then 21 for 52. 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, and that's just a proceeding of what he did in Minnesota, 6 for 8. The defense is sparkling. I had talked to Randy Wynn, and we talked about the defense, and he felt that his first step, knowing where a lot of the hitters now and gauging what he has to do has really improved. And he said he doesn't have fear of being aggressive going after that balls. And you just talked about it, the diving plays, and he doesn't even think twice about it. And some of the spectacular plays where the glove is just under the ball on the grass.
Yeah, and I also think, Bill, I mean, you can speak to this even as a pitcher a little bit and thinking about your outfielders behind you. You want a left fielder to be more aggressive just because the throws into third base are shorter. So the risk is a little bit lower than if a guy dives at a ball going to right field and the ball gets away. Now you're trying to relay and either maybe even prevent an inside the park home run. In left field, it's a little bit shorter to get the throw to third. You can tell a guy in left, be a little more aggressive to try to go make a great play because the risk is just ever so slightly smaller. It's hard, though, as a baseball player to go through the instinct of, I don't want to let this ball get by me, so I'm going to go a little slow, make sure it's held to a single. Sometimes it's way more of a potential boon to a team to make the dive, try to get the play out, even if you risk giving up a double or a triple, than just keeping the pitcher on the mound with a single in that way. It seems like he's taking the right risks that a left fielder should take.
Alex Simon joining me on Sports Phone KNBR. You can read his work at SF Gate, writes some great articles of all different kind of sports. I want to just talk a little bit about this bullpen. I pulled these numbers up yesterday. I did Sports Phone KNBR. I was really amazed at some of the earned run averages. I didn't think they were that low, and boy, they're preceding totally different numbers. Camilo Duvall, after one inning today, he's at a 1.3. Tyler Rogers also at a 1.33. Eric Miller at a 1.88. Randy Rodriguez with a 1.02, 2 walks and 26 strikeouts. When you take Ryan Walker's 2 outings from the Angels and Milwaukee out, he gave up 6 earned runs in just 2/3 of an inning. His numbers, if you take those out, he's under a 2 also. These numbers are big time numbers here, Alex, and we're talking we're May 15th, May 16th, and these guys are just dialed in day after day.
Yeah, you could also, by the way, do that with Hayden Birdsong from when he just went into this game on Wednesday, where he gave up a few runs in relief, and then if you take those out, it was down in either the low ones or even the 0.78
He's at a 2.3 adding that in.
Right. And that's
those are still solid.
The point to it, though, is that it's a very fickle thing, ERA with the bullpen, and it can go balloon on you really quickly with one bad outing. You mentioned that Ryan Walker would be down in the 2 range without those 2 bad outings, but because of those 2 bad outings, I think he's up in the 5 or 6 ERA
close
range.
to 6. I think it's like 5.95. I have it just as 6 with a circle around it, so he's still up there. And that's the hardest thing, Alex. We've talked pitching for many years. As a bullpen guy, you have one bad outing, and it's going to take you a month to get it back down.
But that's the thing about this group that's been so impressive right now. Not just that some,times you're not going to have the sharpest stuff, but they've done a great job at reducing the damage, not letting the bad outing that might give up a run turn into a 4 or 5 run. Yes, we've seen the blip from Walker a couple of times, and that's been especially painful because it's been in closing situations. But even the one you mentioned with Milwaukee, the Giants were able to salvage that game by bringing Camilo Duvall in to get the last 2 outs. And that has been such a boon for the Giants to be able to utilize Duvall either as the Ryan needs a day, so let's get a different closer up, or in that case, as the true quick stopgap. This is a very versatile and deep bullpen. They've obviously even brought Kyle Harrison back up to add a lefty, but also a guy who can do multiple innings. I think they've clearly decided with this team, there's been offensive struggles. We've seen them do pretty well this week in particular, which is hopefully now 3 good games of offense in a row can be continued from here. But this is a team that's going to win this NL West if they are going to win it with pitching and defense.
No question. And today, boy, it all showed up. Logan Webb to Camilo Duvall, the defense. And it's a sparkle today, and that's what they have to continue to do. You have 2 more games against the Athletics, 3 against the Kansas City Royals. The Royals were hot. They're struggling a little bit. What do you see in the next 5 games? You think they can win 3, 4 out of 5?
I think they should be aiming for 4, if not. I think you want to look at this and say, your team is hitting the ball well. If you pitch as well as you can through a turn through the rotation, you should absolutely expect to take care of business against some teams that, while they are both, I think, solid teams, they should not, especially given the level of competition you have to be at in the National League West. You should be able to take care of business here. I think the Giants right now, the loss on Wednesday to the Diamondbacks, while obviously frustrating because it was a loss, to come get that game from 8-2 and have several opportunities late in the game to put the tying or go-ahead run through the plate, and even, at the last at-bat, you're down by 1 run with the bases loaded. That's a confidence-boosting loss as much as you hate that you lose the game. The offense being able to click, continue to have, after a good day on Tuesday, to come back on Wednesday, to build on it with a good day on Friday. Sometimes that can only go as far as one good starter shutting you down. But right now, this Giants offense is building the confidence that they really had been lacking for a couple of weeks there, honestly.
Alex, I'll leave you with one tough question as we finish up here. Jordan Hicks stay in a rotation? Is there going to be a change?
I certainly think they're going to give Hicks another go or two at starting here. In part, the trickiness is that you've kind of adjusted Birdsong and Harrison to the bullpen, that I don't know if you would want to immediately swap those guys back into being linked pitchers for Hicks. But I think the wild card, Bill, is, I'm sure you've seen this, but if the fans haven't, take a look at the numbers Carson Wisenhunt is putting up down in Sacramento.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That was my next name right there. That was my my card I was holding on to. He is pitching dynamic in Sacramento.
Well, and I know you keep up with what the Rivercats doing almost as well as anybody around the Bay Area in that regard, but he's gone 7 innings in all 3 of his last 3 starts. He's done a great job of trading the high strikeout volume that he can do at his best for working efficiently and economically, and allowing himself to get deep and he's not walking anybody too. He looks like he could be a difference maker for this Giants team later down the season. I think everybody assumed he would do that kind of more in a relief role, but if he can really be giving you 7 innings, I think you have to give him a shot at some point this season.
I did a nice interview with him a couple weekends ago. I don't know if you got to hear it. And we talked about his slider. He's throwing more and being aggressive with first pitch strikes with the fastball. But, we all talk about his changeup. It's just filthy. And he's saying he's starting to throw the changeup to hit spots in certain ways. And I'm like, my goodness, you get 3 of those pitches going, Carson, you're going to do it. And he has. He has really dialed in on throwing more strikes, staying in the strike zone, not giving up hard contact. That's my trump card right there, Alex, and you called it, but good call right there. But I appreciate your time as always, Alex, and like I said, happy belated birthday. I hope you had enjoyed a nice birthday and had a nice dinner or two, and looking forward to catching up with you again.
Absolutely, Bill, and I will take a very brief moment to say where I was for work tonight while not at the Giants game was at the Valkyries game. And if people were not tuning in, it is a pretty neat thing that the Bay Area now has a WNBA team here. So
I agree.
That was certainly quite the scene tonight.
Well, I'm glad I caught up with you, Alex. Thanks again for staying up late with me, and like I said, we'll catch up again soon.
Absolutely.
That was Alex Simon from SF Gate. We're going to take a quick break and call it a night here on Sports Phone KNBR as the Giants win 9-1. We'll be right back right here on the Sports Leader.
Speak your mind on the sports leader. Sports Phone KNBR keeps coming at you. Streaming live at twitch.tv/the sports leader.
Here's the set, and Doval throws. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Camilo Doval puts a final exclamation point on the whole thing as he strikes out the side in the ninth inning. And the Giants defeat the Athletics 9-1 on an historic night for Wilmer Flores, his greatest game, and the guy who's had a great career.
All right, welcome back to Sports Phone KNBR on a Friday night as we close it out on a post-game show. Giants win today 9-1. Of course, John Miller reflected on Wilmer Flores going 3 for 5 today, 8 RBIs, 3 home runs, his 8th, 9th, and 10th home run. 41 RBIs Wilmer has for the season. He is now tied with Aaron Judge for the New York Yankees as the most RBIs in Major League Baseball. On the other side, Logan Webb threw a gem. He went 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts that earned his 5th win. He's now 5-3 with a 2.4 earned run average. And Camilo Doval coming in the 9th inning and punching out the side with 3 strikeouts, 10 strikes and 12 pitches he threw. Just a dynamic finish for Camilo Doval. Tomorrow we get it all started again. 6:05 first pitch. Landon Roop on the hill for the Giants. He's 2-3 with a 4.9 earned run average, 40 innings pitched. He's given up 46 hits, 19 walks, 42 strikeouts. They're having a good year. It's a lot of numbers are receding on the negative, but I'm going to tell you, Landon Roop has been pitching really well. A lot of soft contact. We'll see what he does against the Athletics tomorrow. Luis Severino's pitching for the Athletics tomorrow. He's 1-4 with over a 5-point earned run average, 53 2/3 innings, 52 hits, 28 earned runs. His last 2 starts, he faced the Yankees, gave up 8 earned runs, and Seattle gave up 4. So we'll see what the Giants do with the right-hander tomorrow. I want to thank my guest today, Alex Simon. Of course, you can read his work at the SF Gate. I'll be on the Extra Inning postgame show the next couple nights. Steve Kroner, and I've taped an interview with Christian Sauce. And what's great about this interview, I did it Tuesday afternoon, and we were talking in this interview about his first hit, first RBI, the first time he played in the big leagues. And I asked him, when are you going to hit your first home run, Christian? And he laughed. He goes, oh, warning power bill, warning power bill. And what does he do? His first at bat on Tuesday, hits a grand slam. And I had texted him and got a couple good reactions. But great interview out there for Christian Sauce. That'll be on tomorrow. And then Sunday, coming in after the post-game show on Extra Innings, I sat down with Kyle Harrison and got his report on how he's doing, how healthy he is, and how he's transforming into the bullpen. A nice interview. And then I sat down with the Hall of Famer, Jim Cott. And Jim and I talked pitching, and what a great guy. 86 years old Jim Cott is, and of course he's in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I want to thank my producer tonight, Kyle Haar, did a great job. And of course I'll have Kyle over the weekend on the Extra Inning post-game show. I'm Bill Lasky. Be safe, be well, have a rest tonight. Nice Friday night. Giants win today 9-1. They're 26-19, a good start, and we'll see if they can win again tomorrow. Have a great rest of the night. More coming up right here on The Sports Leader.